So good afternoon, everybody, again. It's good to meet online. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Dina Margioukou, or Konstantina Margioukou, Teaching Excellence Fellow at the Robert Gordon University, and also the founder of the Mindsets group here, which operates via the global OneHE network. So today in this talk, we are celebrating the 10th Global Media and Information Literacy Week. And the week has started, actually, it's ending on the 31st of October. And it's a major occasion for all of us to celebrate the progress that we have achieved in relation to media and information literacy for all. So today we are delighted to have with us Jacqueline Geeky, the Information Literacy and Learning Librarian for Aberdeenshire Libraries. And Jacqueline will introduce the recently formed Media and Information Literacy Alliance. This has been actually a collaboration of a group of partners, including the Chartered Institute of Library Information Professionals, and also the Information Literacy Group. The Alliance has a particular aim to help people be happier, healthier, safer, and more informed in their online lives. So what Jacqueline is planning to do today is showcase the framework, which has been developed by members of the ILG group. And there are 5 aspirations for people to be empowered, informed, connected, healthier, and socially conscious. And afterwards, I will present my own work, which is an overview of the Scottish Library Information Council funded project Maddie is online. But I will tell you more about that later. So I would now like to invite Jacqueline with the first presentation. Over to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Dina. I'll just share my screen now.
And as you are doing this, I should say that maybe say a few things about you as well. Well, you can find it in the bio that we have added in the event, but Jacqueline is a support librarian for Life Aberdeenshire Libraries. And your main interests, Jacqueline, are in using technology and mainly in creative ways to enhance learning and encourage everyone to be digital participant in everyday life as well, I would think. Throughout your career in libraries, information literacy has been the core of your work, and you enjoy the role of public libraries representative of the CLIP Information Literacy Group, as well as you are a digital champion for Aberdeenshire Libraries. So over to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you. And good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for attending today's event for UNESCO's Global Media and Information Literacy Week. It's a great opportunity to work again with Dina on a collaboration between ILG and Mindset. When we were discussing what we would include today, it felt like it was the ideal opportunity to present on the work of my colleagues from the Information Literacy Group. As today, more than ever, media and information literacy is possibly our biggest challenge or greatest opportunity as library professionals and information professionals, of course. I'm here today in my role as the Public Libraries representative on the CLIP Information Literacy Group, which I've held since 2015. It's a dedicated group of library and information professionals who all work in a voluntary capacity and who have an interest in information literacy like myself. It's a special interest group of CLIP which hosts the LILAC Librarians Information Literacy Annual Conference each year and produces the Journal of Information Literacy, so have a look out for those. LILAC will be held in Manchester in April 2022. And the call for papers is now open. So if you'd like to present, there's your opportunity. Just a little plug there for that conference. So information literacy as a term isn't used very often in public libraries, if at all, although until very recently, my job title was Information Literacy and Learning Librarian. We're in the process of a restructure, and my new job title is Support Librarian, Development Training and Operations, which is a very long title. But my job profile does still include the phrase information literacy as well as digital literacy. As Dina mentioned, throughout my career, I've been passionate about information literacy and would be interested to hear from you in the chat what your thoughts are on information literacy and why does it matter now. So if you want to pop some things in the chat while I'm presenting, that would be great. I won't see them right now, but I'll be able to catch up with them once I've finished. Okay. So as a foundation, I would like to mention the UNESCO Alexandria Proclamation, which came out in 2005, which states, information literacy lies at the core of lifelong learning. It empowers people in all walks of life to seek, evaluate, use, create information effectively to achieve their personal, social, occupational, and educational goals. It's a basic human right in a digital world and promotes social inclusion of all nations. And this still feels quite current to me with the concepts of living in a digital world, in that it's been ever increasing and even more so during the last 18 months that digital has just really taken over. If we can look back to 2018, slightly more recent than 2005, but back in 2018, I was part of the group of the information literacy group, which developed the CILIP definition of information literacy. And the high level definition is this one, which you see on screen, that information literacy is the ability to think critically and make balanced judgments about any information we find and use. It empowers us as citizens to develop informed views and to engage fully with society. Now, we were aware that information literacy as a concept can be quite difficult to just, package up nicely in one or two sentences. So we published the definition with 5 contexts, which expanded on what information literacy means in all aspects of our lives and not just in higher education. So the 5 contexts were health, education, the workplace, democracy or citizenship, and everyday life, because information is all around us, so it encompasses all areas of our lives. If I can move on now to the Media and Information Literacy Alliance and fast forward to this summer, 2021. And as Dina mentioned, CILIP and the Information Literacy Group formed MILA, the Media Information Literacy Alliance. And you can read the purpose, vision and mission on screen at the moment. But MILA is a cross-sector group of organisations and individuals who share a common belief in the power of media and information literacy to help people lead happier, healthier, safer and more productive lives. At the time of the Alliance being set up, our chair of the Information Literacy Group, Dr. Jane Secker, said, "Media and information literacy refers to the knowledge, skills and behaviours that people need in order to make informed judgments as users of information and media, as well as to become skillful creators and producers of information and media messages in their own right. In a world in which we are all constantly bombarded with messages across a variety of digital platforms, we need to be ready to equip our users to make informed choices about the media that we consume and share. This new alliance will enable us to connect with partners across industry, government, education, and the media to develop a joined-up response to the challenges of fake news and misinformation." And this will just link very nicely into Dina's talk later on. But it's not just for library and information professionals, it's about all of us. The initial meeting brought together a range of stakeholders from a variety of disciplines, and we hope to see the alliance grow and develop. Jane Secker, our chair, Nick Poole of CILIB, and Annalise Harding, our deputy chair, held a webinar yesterday to introduce this work, and I'm just kind of riding on their coattails. So, what do the public think about information literacy? One of the key aspects we were interested in was, what does the man on the street understand about information literacy? As a group, we spoke to family and friends who, let's face it, don't always know what we do, and asked them what they thought of information literacy. And you see on screen some of the responses. So things like, it's to be able to access information that you use in your everyday life, not to assume that what you're being told isn't completely accurate, to question what you've been told, and to be able to challenge things that don't feel right. Which was quite encouraging. And then we wanted to know, why does information literacy matter to them? So why does it matter to be information literate? And a couple of the responses that came through, it's important because it's what life's about. It affects how you reach decisions on what to do with your life and how to interact with other people. And because it helps people reach an informed decision, and an informed decision is one that they are less likely to have regrets about, especially from a careers perspective. So it was quite interesting to hear why it meant something to people other than library and information professionals. And I spoke with one of my friends about it. So to quote from the MILA framework, the purpose of the framework is to demonstrate what media and information literacy means for people in everyday life and in various recognisable settings. It thus seeks to make media and information literacy understandable by relating it to situations with which everyone can readily identify. To do this, the framework identifies 5 lifelong aspirations: be informed, be empowered, be healthy, be socially conscious, and be connected. When I spoke with my friend about the framework, there were aspects which really resonated with her, as it was situations that she had faced in her life. And what we have included within the framework are real life examples from members of the ILG committee or their family and friends. And I feel that that gives an authenticity which will resonate with others too. Being informed is at the core of the framework. You can be all the other aspects separately. For instance, you can be healthy without being informed, but having the right information at the right time and being able to use it in the right way can enhance your health. So I'll take you through the 5 aspirations. And the first one is be informed. And as I said, it's at the core of the framework. So I'll just pick one of these bubbles at random. The one at the top right, I found this interesting news article, which I've shared on Facebook. Friends tell me that it's inaccurate. How can I check? So within the framework, we have these situations that people may come up against. And then we have a section which speaks about, if I'm informed, then I understand certain things and I can do certain things. So for instance, within be informed, I understand there are recognised ways of checking facts, identifying biases and inaccuracies. I can check the authorship of the information I find and assess its level of authority. I can tell the difference between misinformation and disinformation and describe their features and so on. So I'm not sure if you've come across any of these situations, but perhaps you have. I'll move on to be empowered. And on this one, the local elections are coming up. How do I register to vote? There are so many links, I don't know which one is official. So If you are empowered, you understand that you're responsible for making informed decisions about your future. You can research information about changes you want to make in your life by verifying official sources against other websites. You can identify information from official sources, so you can tell this website has got .gov.uk at the end of it, therefore it has come from the government. It doesn't have some obscure web address, therefore it is an official source. You can explain the different ways in which you find and appraise reliable information, and can have conversations about why this is important. And it's really important that people feel empowered about their own information. If I can move on to being healthy, and you may have been prescribed a new medication, but you're not sure about the side effects and what do the names mean. If you're able to use health, or if you have good health literacy, you understand that health information is complex. Medical language, data and instructions can be daunting. You need to break down and find definitions to understand and research each element. If you're anxious, then health information may be harder to understand. And I think everybody has had a higher level of anxiety at some point over the last 18 months. You can break down information that you need in its most simple form to research everything you need to know. You can check that the information is up to date too, if you have good information literacy skills. You can be socially conscious, and one of the aspects here is my community centre is not disability friendly. What can I do to change the situation? And I was particularly thinking about, what could you do online to try and make a change on this? And here's is, I understand I'm responsible for my online actions and their real life consequences. Online behaviour should mirror the norms of offline behaviour, and I should be mindful of the things I post online and how I present myself on online platforms. I can check the way I've written to someone online and ask myself, is this the way that I would communicate in person? Because you're not just thinking, oh, I'm just putting this out into the ether and nobody will read it. You are really thinking about the implications of what you're writing. I'll move on to the final aspiration, to be connected. So if you're applying for jobs and you don't want employers to see your social media, and you want to know if you can block them, you understand that your online information is visible to all. You understand that online interactions and personal details leave what's called a digital footprint, that your digital footprint can be easily traced and reused without your knowledge. You can choose the level of information you want to share on online platforms, and you can check the level of consent that you give to your personal data being stored, used and shared. I've really just whizzed through really the framework, and I'm going to pop a couple of things into the chat so that you'll be able to look at them and peruse them when you've got time. But if you want to find out more, and one of the links I will put in is to the MILA website, www.mila.org.uk. And if you want to find out more about the Information Literacy Group and our work, you can follow us on Twitter, and our tag is at InfoLit Group. And again, the website for the MILA Alliance is there, and the Information Literacy website too. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to reading what you've popped into the chat when I finished. But if anybody's got any questions, as Dina said, it's not so much a presentation, but if you've got anything you would like to ask or any comments, we would welcome that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. And there are a few comments in the chat, and a few comments from me as well. And we have also some interesting resources around children and young people, which actually is directly relevant to my research, and I'm going to check after this session. But we do have time for some questions, and I was wondering if we have any questions from the audience. What do you think of the MILA? I thought the everyday life context is actually really important, and I really like how you have presented the different situations. They really connect to real life experiences of people, and I think this is really important to be able to not really look at information literacy as just a formal framework for education, but something that concerns all of us in relation to our everything we do in our life, whether it is our working environment, our education, or things that we have to do for our democracy and our everyday life living.
I agree. It absolutely goes through the whole of your life in every aspect. And I agree that the everyday life, and when we were doing the definition, that was the area that I was given to look at. So we're thinking of things like online safety, keeping yourself safe online, thinking about, well, especially now with our energy bills going through the roof, and we're not really able to change at the moment. We're being told, no, just stay where you are. But it's just being aware of all these things that you are able to make those decisions for yourself, because you have that ability.
Exactly, absolutely. So the audience is quiet. I don't know if you have seen the framework for the first time, or you maybe are thinking about it now and trying to critically reflect upon that, but let us know. We do have the chat throughout this session anyway, so you can add your comments as we are presenting our different topics today. So Jacqueline, I don't think we have any other questions. So I think we are ready to move on maybe to the next part of our presentation today.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to share my own slides, and I hope you can see them okay. And you can see me okay, fine here, okay? So thanks everyone who is here to find out more about Maddie's Online as well. So Maddie's Online is a project that has been funded by the Scottish Library Information Council and also by the Robert Gordon University Innovation Accelerator Program. And it was also in the semi-finals of the Converge Challenge program recently. So Maddie's Online is a project that addresses everyday life issues that children may encounter online, and offers educators, librarians, and parents an engaging and fun series of activities. And the idea is that we want to harness the educational advantages of cartoon video animation. So a group of children is pre-teens, so children who are around 9 to 12 years old. And we want to engage them critically with digital literacy issues, as well as resilience and citizenship principles. And what we want to really start doing is opening up the dialogue with them. So we felt that we wanted to create fun stories that were engaging and interesting. So the animation videos that we created were made with a software that's called Plotagon Studio, and has characters that you can add voiceover functionality to them. You can also follow step-by-step scripts and character expressions. And we have all of these videos available on YouTube, and the project has its own blog as well, where we post regularly information and developments around the project. So, but before actually I do this, what I really wanted to do, it was play the actual introductory video, if I'm allowed to do here on Zoom, and then move on to my presentation. So I'll try to do this now. Hopefully things will work fine for me. So that you can visually get a visual sense of what it looks like as well. So if you can give me just a second to start this, and it will come up. Okay, hope you can all see that now. So I'll just try again though, because I just realized I didn't share my sound, so I'll just do that again. And now you can hear that.
Hi, it's me, Maddie. For teachers and parents who may lack knowledge, resources, or time to educate children about the challenges and opportunities of online connectivity, Maddie's Online is an accessible, engaging, and fun digital literacy skills cartoon video resource. Supported by state-of-the-art research, digital lesson plans, and workshops that can be used in different subjects at schools or at home. In an accessible and cost-effective way, empowering young people, like me, with skills that help them deal with challenging situations in their digital lives. Hopefully I'll see you soon!
Okay, so that was really just a taster of the cartoon. And I wanted to show you this because I wanted to show you what it looks like. It's not the actual stories, because there are 3 different stories we have created. And what I'm going to do is tell you more about them as I go through my actual presentation. So, okay, so let's hopefully go back to this. You can stop share this now. I can go back to my presentation and carry on from there. So in terms of the project itself, as I said, we have developed a number of resources, and I think some of them will relate to some of the areas of interest that many people who are here may have. It's not allowing me to share it now, as it normally happens, but I will sort it out very soon. So what I would like to tell you is really more about the different series that we have. And we have, for example, series 1, that is dealing with online resilience issues that children may be exposed to. And then we have another series, series 2, that deals with misinformation, and very much all of these things that we're talking about. And the final series that we have developed is series 3, that has to do with copyright. And it's a latest series, and we use frameworks that are established, for example, the Creative Commons framework that you're all familiar with. So what I'm going to do is I will try to really share my resources again, because I'm really experiencing some issues with that at the moment, as we do, but I keep on trying and it will work. So if you can give me a second here. And it's not working for some reason. And now it worked, as you normally do in a real life presentation. So I'm going to show you so I showed you the video introduction, and we've done a lot of different campaigns as well with CILIPS, and we've published the work on the CILIPS blog and the Scottish Library and Information Council blog, so you can find more information about the project there. But what really I want to say is really the value and why we decided to work on this project. And the value lies really with the flexibility and accessibility of the resources that engage children in dialogue and in different activities. But we wanted really to do something to start a conversation around their mental well-being, helping to engage with children in ways that safeguard the digital lives, are going to be smart about the decisions they make online, the websites they visit, and so on. And there were lots of other skills training resources out there. So we wanted to collate resources as well and make them available to the community. And the reason why we started is because we saw that from some of the key research insights here, there were many worries about children. For example, we knew that approximately 80% of children in the UK lack the ability to judge the credibility of information. That was the result of one study. Another study found that 61% of children in the UK have set up their first social media account at age 12 or under. And we know that many of these new tools, for example, TikTok, is meant to be for 13-year-old and over. So it's not really appropriate for younger children. However, we know that children who are maybe 9 years old set up their own account. So there's a lot of interesting research, and actually there was another research publication that was about children going online. And also the recent publication by the Council of Europe that 1 in 5 children face online harms. We also know that around, I think 1 in 3 internet users is a child. So we're talking about really a very important part of the online population that is exposed to diverse challenges, and that we need to really pay attention to them. I don't think that we do a lot around children and how we can really help them not to be safe online only, but also to understand what the opportunities are there and know how to creatively engage with the internet. So these were some of the reasons why we wanted this. And here you can see the framework that you use, Education for a Connected World. It's developed in England, and it's a good starting point because it gives you a number of different areas of attention around online connectivity, as well as the expectations required on the basis of knowledge and skills at different age levels. So it has areas such as you see here, self-image and identity, online relationships, online reputation, online bullying, as well as managing online information. And actually I was intrigued by the way managing online information is described here, because this part specifically, it's all about information literacy. So far we have looked at 3 of these different areas: online bullying, managing online information, and copyright and ownership. Hopefully in the future we'll have the opportunity to develop more resources beyond those areas as well, and also maybe engage the children to create their own stories, which is one of the intentions that we have, hopefully, if we can carry on the project beyond the Scottish Library Information Council funded project. So at the moment we have 2 available series. So series 1, Online Resilience, focuses on online resilience, obviously, and safety, and consists of 8 episodes. And what we do here is we ask children to choose the best scenario for dealing with issues of online connectivity. And we went to schools actually with this series. We used a framework that was developed by the Hannans, Valdonik and Donoso, and distinguishes 3 different categories of coping strategies. So we asked the children to actually help Maddie to find a solution around the online problems she faced. And some of these strategies were passive coping strategies. Some of them were communicative coping, so talking to somebody else, for example, and others were proactive coping, which means that trying to fix the problem themselves, or even deleting and unfriending people, the bully here in this episode. So the story is that there is a bully, and that sends a really disturbing, you can say, message to Maddie. So children have to really decide in groups or individually what would be the best option there. And in relation to all the different series in Maddie's Online, we have developed a number of booklets. You can see here series 1, resources booklets. And this one provides you infographics around different resources that we have collated and evaluated. And they accompany the series, every single series we have developed. And they were developed by our student interns. For example, series 1 and series 2 were developed by Nick Herbert. So we're very delighted to have our students in Master's Information Library Studies on board to be engaged with the whole project and to develop a number of really important skills. And we have today with us Emma. You can, hi Emma, I can see you there, and to talk a little bit about this work. So series 2 on misinformation is a longer series and is about the importance of information literacy, really, and information evaluation. And it's really the quest of Maddie to find information on a school assignment. We used established frameworks such as the infographic on fake news you can see here. So Maddie goes through that as she's trying to really find information on a country, and she encounters a number of people who misinform her. So very important series, because we deal also with at some point with the issue of vaccinations, and it has to do with the environment as well. So if you're interested, have a look at it. And again, it's accompanied by a booklet, and the booklet has a number of different activities for the series, but also external activities and activities that engage educators. Series 3 copyright is the final series where we go to Planet Copious, and we have a copyright expert who is called Pinachu, and she comes back to Earth to help people develop copyright literacy. And again, it's a scenario where Maddie shared a photograph of herself that has been repurposed by Michael, who is another boy who plays in the series. And then it's just trying to resolve the whole case, and they end up in court to find who has not followed the right copyright rules and regulations. And again, it's obviously accompanied by a resources booklet. In this series, we've used a lot of voiceovers, and we're very, very happy to have so many people engaging with the project. You can see some of them here. But also we have a number of children, and for series 1 we did all the recordings of the voiceovers remotely, and it's something we tested out and it worked. So that means that if any children wanted to create their own stories, we can operate during a pandemic as well, which was actually a fantastic opportunity to do something interesting and creative over the lockdown. So this is series 3 copyright booklet that I mentioned, and again, it follows the same sequence. And we did a preview of the series, and we're very happy that we received very positive feedback. So you can see some of this. The people really loved it, and they really liked the animation, that it was quirky and different, and they liked the voiceovers as well, and the fact that it looked at broad principles of copyright. And beyond that, I wanted really to invite our student interns to tell us a little bit about their experiences. So today with us we have Emma Gray. Hi, Emma. Unfortunately, we don't have Niall. Good to see you. Thanks. But we presented this at the CLIPS Autumn Gathering recently, where Niall was there to present his work as well. So this is part of Nill's work. It's the episode description, the concepts that we explore, the learning outcomes, and some of the ideas for educators that we have collated are coming from other organizations and are mostly freely available. So they're all collated in one area. And this is Emma's work. So Emma, would you like to say a few things about the resources?
Yeah, sure. So I'm just going to briefly talk through the type of activities that we've put into the resource booklet to help reiterate and reinforce the concepts that are explored within each episode. So these are the extension activities for episode 4, which sees Miss Mason go visit Michael to sort of tell him that he can't just take things from the internet and adapt them for his own use without checking copyright rules, and that he must respect the work of others. So the first extension activity is about copyright nights and plagiarism pirates. So it's a freely available resource pack for 7 to 11-year-olds. One of the activities within the pack is a word search, which lets the educator define terms such as plagiarism and copyright and attribution, so the pupils understand the words before they carry out the word search. There's a walk the plank game, which is just a bit of fun and requires a gym mat to stand in for a plank. and the educator reads out various scenarios, and the pupils have to guess if they constitute plagiarism or not. So if they're incorrect, they have to jump off the gym mat or the plank. There's also a class activity where the class is split into pirates and knights, and they have to write, the knights have to write a code of copyright conduct, while the pirates have to write a song. So they're just really fun, engaging activities to get the pupils to start thinking about these ideas. The second extension activity is about the work of Charles Dickens. So it's a bit less fun than the Knights and Pirates, but it's really useful because it uses real life examples so they can see how copyright and plagiarism has an effect in the real world. And the third extension activity is about the creator's rights and responsibilities. It's for 9 to 10-year-olds, and it's adaptable depending on how much time is in the class. So there's a few activities to do before the main element, which is all about copyright, intellectual property, plagiarism, and attribution. And it comes with lesson slides, handouts, and there's a quiz and some take-home activities as well. It also comes with an after the main element activity if there's time. So all of the extension activities are freely available online. They don't require any pre-planning or lots of work on behalf of the educator. We've tagged them all with the age range, so you can easily see if it's suitable for whichever class you're teaching. And they're also tagged with little infographics to let you know if it comes with printouts or if it's practical work or if it's got lesson slides with it. So they're all really fun and engaging, and hopefully get pupils to start thinking about these important concepts for the real world. Thanks, Dina.
Thank you, Emma. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for this overview. And just to say from this, the resources that we went to a number of different schools, and you can see some of the activities that have been engaged in over the year. We've been very busy, actually, visiting schools with Series 1. And also I was intrigued by the fact that not only the schools we visited, but other schools as well are utilizing the Maddie's Online. You can see here a board that was prepared by another school, and you can see a primary school on the left that I came across on social media, actually. So I was really delighted to see that people are using it beyond the schools that we engaged with. But as far as the projects, we visited a number of schools, a total of 6 schools in East Renfrewshire, and we engaged directly with children, a total of 239 children from 6 schools. Children evaluated the sessions, they expressed feelings around being connected online, and they identified preferred areas for further support. So in terms of the students and the children who engaged with us, we had split demographics. So actually it was quite good to have this kind of split. So we had almost half female and half male. So that we could, if we wanted, we could do further explorations in the data. So we asked them if they enjoyed the sessions. We played Series 1 and we asked them to engage and find solutions for Maddie. And we were really happy to see that 80.5% said that they enjoyed very much the session. And there were only 13 children who didn't enjoy very much or did not enjoy the session. And you can see here some of the reasons why they enjoyed or not enjoyed the cartoon and the workshop that we delivered. And I was intrigued though, specifically by the worst parts, and some of them actually indicate that children connected with the scenario and really the moral of the story, because you can see here that they say the worst part was when Maddie was cyberbullied, or when things, happened to her, or when the bully was not punished. Or when she unblocked the bully. So it was really, interesting that in between the worst parts, they also said that. And most of the children didn't like the writing part, so the Valuation Questionnaire, which was actually also interesting as well. Then we asked them, what would you like to know more on? And we gave them a number of areas, from online image and identity to creating good online communication, online reputation, to online bullying and finding online information, as well as protecting their own online content and their own privacy and security. And you can see here that they really liked support for all of these areas. Slightly higher is online bullying, as you can see here. But interestingly, we had a total of 511 instances, which meant that on average, each child selected more than at least 2 or more than 2 of the areas listed here. Well, we had a few children that weren't interested, but the majority of them were very much engaged and interested in all of these issues. And then we asked them, whom would you talk to if you had worries about the online environment? And interestingly, they said that most of them would talk to their parents and guardians, as well as to their friends or their siblings, but they wouldn't speak to their teacher. Only 16% would speak to the teacher. Worryingly, 14% said they wouldn't talk to anybody, and 6% only said I would talk to my librarian. And then we asked them about feelings, about being when connected online, and they talked about many different positive and negative feelings. You can see some of them here. So it was an indication that children did a lot of things while they were online and during the pandemic, because when we visited the schools, it was just when the schools opened again in the second round of the pandemic restrictions. So they had worries about being connected online. Some of them were annoyed. Some felt left out because their friends could be posting things and they wouldn't really include them. But also they felt sociable. Many of the boys played online games. They talked about connectivity, connecting with friends beyond the school. And they also liked this open environment that they felt that they could speak to other people no matter what. They didn't have to actually meet them face to face. But at the same time, you know, there were many negative things. Some of them were worried about the things that were happening in the world. And some felt even about their own digital skills, that they didn't have enough skills to deal with certain aspects of even, you know, when they were looking at what other people were doing. So those were very interesting results of the project. So we went on and we created infographics just to really make those feelings more widely accessible to the general public and to convey these feelings that the children shared with us. So you can see here, one of the children is saying that they felt included, but that was not necessarily a positive thing, because they said that seeing other people online feeling a bit stressed or worried made them feel better, because they knew that they were not the only one feeling that way. Another child felt left out. You know, for example, some of their friends went out for lunch and they were posting on social media, but they didn't include them. Another child felt distracted from the constant notifications, and they said, I was meant to do lots of things, but I'm also, you know, all the time really on TikTok instead, and I'll go to watch one video, but I end up watching, you know, 100 videos. And then we had many more feelings expressed. One of them was feeling insecure and feeling sad, and it had to do with body image issues, which is very interesting as well. And this idea of feeling distracted came, you know, was evident in the data quite a lot, because the children couldn't escape really from this constant element of connectivity. So what we went to do, and I will try to play this again, hopefully that works. We went to do some voiceovers of these feelings. So we invited back children from the schools, but not obviously the same children who had expressed the feelings, but other children, to verbalize these feelings. So we went back to them. And the idea was that to give more life to the data. So I would like to play some of this for you, just get a sense of what they're like. So I'm going to do this now. So hopefully you can all see that. So I'll play the last one.
In the last month, how did being online make you feel? I felt insecure when I've seen other girls coming up on my Snapchat, Insta and TikTok because they look prettier than me and have a better figure. Made me feel insecure about myself.
I felt included. Seeing other people online feeling a bit stressed or worried made me feel a bit better, because I know I'm not the only one feeling that way.
Annoyed. Last month I felt very annoyed due to lockdown as we had to work online. Sometimes I won't be able to get onto classes or my Wi-Fi would be down. Proud because I recently got 1,000 followers on TikTok and I never thought that would happen.
Sometimes I feel worried online because it's really dangerous and people might find my location.
Sociable because I was able to keep in touch with my friends and family during the pandemic.
I'm annoyed because sometimes things don't work online and I become addicted to TikTok.
Okay, so that was really it. Just to give you a sense of what this was like, really. So I can stop sharing my screen now and bring back my my video as well. So this was really the main elements of the project that we developed here at the Robert Gordon University. So what we want to do is really invite any schools or anyone really who wants to be involved and they want to use the resources. So the idea is to get in touch with me or us in the project, and we can give you the booklets. Actually, the booklets are available online anyway. We have made them available via I always forget this, Emma, what is it called, Emma, help me here. SlideShare.
Yes, SlideShare.
Yeah. And we also have Canva version. So the idea is that those schools, for example, or people who work with digital literacy, they can add their own projects, because we know that there is a lot of many things that are happening and many innovative things that different libraries are developing. So the idea is that to open up this as an organic thing, something that people can contribute to rather than as static resources. So the cartoons really help you to create this sense of, having a storyline behind it, actually. And then with resources, you can create lesson plans around them. You can use them in your class for different reasons and in different ways. And so that's all really, but I really wanted to have about 5 minutes really for any questions and see what you felt and what your thoughts are about the project. We do have some comments here. So, Sandra, you're saying, I love the Maddie's online and hope to promote to some of our students. Unfortunately, I have to leave now since they're closed. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Sandra. So I don't know if anybody has used the resources so far and they wanted to share a few ideas. If you haven't used them, everything is accessible. So feel free to go on YouTube, type in the name, Maddie's online, and also go onto the blog to where you can find all the resources and links to them. And that's it, really. That's all I had to say about the project. We have lots of ideas for the future. We're thinking about creating maybe a school competition where we can invite children to create their own stories, and then we can help them to create them using cartoons. that would be really what I would aspire to do. And I think that a part of this task that I decided to get myself involved into, to verbalize the data of the study, was really to test it out with children and see whether they would enjoy that. And there was a lot of participation, and they really, really loved it, and they wanted to verbalize those feelings. So that gave me a lot of hope, actually, that we could even engage them more and get them to create those stories and really express the kinds of challenges that they encounter in the everyday life environment. I think a lot of the things that children do these days, they use TikTok, they use Instagram, Snapchat. In fact, Snapchat and TikTok were the most common tools they use, because we asked them about that as well. So they have a lot to share from their experiences. So the idea is really to open up the dialogue than anything else, rather than just to educate, to really find out more from their perspectives and from their own experiences. Something that we feel doesn't exist that much out there. So if there's an element of innovation and creativity, it is in the fact that the children are involved in this and they give their voiceovers, but also that they reflect on experiences that may have some kind of connection with real life, although there is a lot of imagination in the stories as well. Right, so that's all. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I hope you enjoyed the sessions today. Send us some feedback in OneHE Mindsets. Jacqueline, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's it. And thank you to everybody for coming along on this Friday afternoon.
Okay, fantastic. And get back to us if you wanted to hear anything about Maddie's Online, or of course the MILA Alliance. So as I said, some people were asking whether this presentation is going to be recorded, and as you see, we are recording it, so we are going to make it available afterwards to all the registered participants. And we really value your feedback, so feel free to send us some comments and let us know if you'd like any other follow-up sessions, overviews, or anything. So at this point, we are going to stop the recording, and thank you all very much for taking the time to be here with us today.